Reign versus Kansas City, currently 1-game midweek action this week for NWSL. A little bit different from last week, Lisa. We had to go through a number of games for the first midweek action of the season, but just one focal point for us this week. It's going to be Laura Harvey's Lola Reign versus Met Potter's Kansas City. This one's kicking off at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can find this one on Twitch. When we're looking at these two teams, Lisa, I think the biggest thing that's standing out right now, probably the most obvious, is that these are two teams in the regular season that are still on the hunt for a win. So
very surprising as two teams that made it to the semifinal of the Challenge Cup. They both won their regions respectively,
they did.
And yet to take a win home in the regular season.
So I'm going to ask you, you pointed it out. Are you looking at a winner in this match? Who is it and why?
I am looking at a winner. I don't think this one will end in a draw. This is hard though, because these two sides, I mean, both looking for a win, but this is just the second time that Kansas City is actually playing in Washington State and their very first time going to Lumen Field. And that's it. That's hard for a Kansas City side to do, to go there and play that. When we look a little bit deeper at OL Reign, I mean, they have a lot of good players, great goalkeeper, but they haven't been able to find the back of the net consistently and enough. That's been their biggest struggle right now. And Kansas City, they can score. They can find ways to score. They have different ways of that, but can they keep other teams off the board? Their defense is one that's been having some struggles. They committed an own goal last weekend against Angel City that ended up being the game winner for Angel City, and Kansas City ends up losing that match. But without that, and without some really great saves by Didi Herrera, I think Kansas City could have really won that game against Angel City. Excuse me. Sorry, I almost just sneezed. This is a live recording for everyone. So because of that,
bless you in advance.
Thank you. I'm going to try not to. But like a goalkeeper like Fallon Tillis-Joyce, she leads goalkeepers right now in the NWSL with 21 saves. Rose Lavelle leads the Reign with 11 shots, 6 of them on target, but they can't find the back of the net. Kansas City, they have a lot of young, good rookies that are being very influential. Elise Bennett, Alex Luera, Jenna Weinbrenner. I think Elizabeth Ball has done tremendous. Victoria Pickett has done a really nice job in the midfield. Victoria Pickett almost plays a little bit similar to Rose Lavelle. I mean, they're not the same player by any means, but in the terms of picking up the ball in the midfield and running, taking the space in front and just attacking with the ball at their feet. Both players like to dribble with the ball into the attacking spaces. Okay, I know we have to get to picks. Kansas City, OL Reign. I want there to be a winner in this one. I've gone back and forth.
It's a tough one, this one, I think.
I think Kansas City can get a win.
Okay.
I know.
All right, Lisa. I like it.
It's a little surprising, but if this regular season has shown us anything, it's that surprises can happen. And Kansas City, they were dealt with a bit of a COVID protocol last week, missing some big players, not entirely sure of their availability. That's in terms of Lola Bonta. Hugh Williams, head coach, wasn't at the game for Angel City. So those are also factors that come into play. And I don't know that availability at this point right now. That could change things as well. If Lola Bonta is there, Hugh Williams is at the game, I think Kansas City definitely takes the win.
All right. I like it. I think some people might listen to this and say that's like, consider that perhaps maybe like a bold pick, but I think you've presented some good cases, some good arguments here for Kansas City. I do feel you though on the availability report. Of course, we're recording this at a time where that hasn't been publicly released as of yet, so we don't have any additional information on that at the moment. But I think it's going to depend on some things there. How much time has passed? What does the protocol look like for certain players? Are certain players going to be back, but are certain players still going to be left on? And I mean, these aren't just some of these players who were out aren't just depth players for Kansas City. We're talking about a huge Lola Bonta sized hole for Kansas City that was missing in their previous match. What is that going to look like in a game like this against a team like the Reign. So I just, I have been going back and forth in this one, and I told myself that I gave myself the challenge that I didn't want to choose a draw in this one, because I was like part of the storylines around it, and I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I came on attacking third and said, "Hey, here are two teams that are in search for their first win, and I don't think they're gonna get it still." Like
Which is very possible.
it's anything is possible. It's NWSL, right? So I just am like, but like it's similar to you going bold and picking a team. I'm gonna be bold as well, right? Maybe that's a hint in terms of who I'm going with, but I'm gonna go with OL on this one. I'm looking at the Reign, and we're coming towards the end of May here, so we're going to be clocking in a full month of NWSL action very, very soon. And something that we have to look at with this Reign side is perhaps maybe some of their underperformance in front of net. We're watching a lot of great things unfold on the pitch for this team. Rose Lavelle has been cutting things up on the field, but when we look at some of her stats, is underperforming her XG, her expected goals value, right now at the moment. And it's not, something isn't translating, I guess is what I'm trying to say at the moment for this OL Reign side, and especially when we look at some of these numbers after the matches from them, even perhaps their most recent game, or their most recent two game, whether it was that scoreless draw against Portland Thorns,
And
or
Washington Spirit.
now a scoreless draw against the Washington Spirit, where each of those teams, the Portland game, you talking 17 shots, and I believe a handful or so plus of attempts on target, and then this one against the Spirit, 20 total shot attempts, 8 attempts on target, nothing in the back of the net. And it's you're seeing those numbers, and the thing that sticks out to me right away is it's not for lack of effort, because the numbers are telling the story that it's there. It's just that clinical finish is just lacking right now for this team, and it's hard to gauge if it's a combination of maybe if something's not working tactically, or if the other combination is just, quite frankly, they're snake bit, which is a thing that can happen sometimes for teams early in NWSL seasons. This is not something that's unfamiliar, I think, for teams in the league, and I really don't think it's unfamiliar for teams who are considered the good teams, quote unquote, those top elite teams, are the teams that you see in the playoffs or have big names on the roster in the early weeks of the season. It's definitely not unfamiliar, but it is something that is catching my eye right now, and I don't think it's unfair to maybe bring up right now if we're looking at this OL Reign side and saying, we had considered them picked pretty early to be what is considered contenders in this 2022 season, and they're having struggles in front of goal. And there's too many great attacking pieces for that to be happening right now. But in this game, Lisa, I think perhaps it could be the game to turn things around. And I'm not saying it's going to be some type of ridiculous lopsided scoreline, but I do believe the Reign are going to be able to pick up a win against Kansas City.
I like that you went with the Reign. I like that we're going on separate sides here. OL Reign they cannot score. When we look back to the last match, I'm going to call players out right now. Allie Watt had 3 chances that she needed to put away. Great breakaways where they got in behind Washington's back line. They went on goal, and it's almost as if Watt slowed down. She stopped running. She was waiting for the defense to catch up to her, the defense to track back and get in front of her and stop her and then block her shot instead of going full force. You have a step on your opposition on a breakaway, you need to keep pushing. It's almost like they lose all of their energy and their enthusiasm when they get to the final third of the field, because defensively, OL Reign has been really good in the midfield. They are able to control, but the final piece in the attacking end is not there. And we also don't know. We talked a lot about availability report in terms of Kansas City with their COVID protocol, but Bethany Balcer, forward for OL Reign, went out in that game with a bit of an injury, wobbling around. She came off the field with the help of a trainer. She wasn't walking fully on her own. We don't know Bethany Balcer's availability, and that's a huge loss. That's a huge attacking piece, loss, a goal scorer for OL Reign that's now out of the mix. And we don't know if she's in or not. But I think when it comes down to the small margins and capitalizing on mistakes, we've seen Kristen Hamilton do that for Kansas City. We've seen young rookies in Elise Bennett and Alex Luera step up and create things out of nothing. We know set piece opportunities for Alex Luera are really good. She can put those away. They're good on set pieces. Kristen Edmonds has done a nice job all over the
Yeah.
pitch.
Yeah.
Desiree Scott in the midfield can defensively hold things down for Kansas City. AD Franch in goal has consistency that can stop an OL Reign
Yeah.
team. That I'm sticking with Kansas City.
I like it. That's the other side of it too, where I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I came on here and said neither of these teams are going to get their first win still, because I was looking at the goalkeepers as well. You bring
Yeah.
up Beatty French. I mean, we got to talk about Valentilles Joyce. It's just there are two very good, more than capable keepers who are going to be manning the nets for these two sides. So there's a possibility that these score lines could be low in this match. I'm not saying that that's not a possibility. I just hope that there is a winner in this one, and we can continue to chat about that when we have to go ahead and recap the match. But we'll see. I think if this one turns into, I'm curious to see if the rain will make any type of tactical adjustments. Is this a Kansas City current side that the Rain will look at and say, maybe we'll sit back a little bit and try to be a little more transitional and counter? Maybe that's something that they can do to try to spearhead things. I don't see that happening. Laura Harvey has never struck me as the type of a coach to hit a panic button by any means. But you want to maybe try to take a look at some different things to get those goals in the back of the net, something to sort of shake things up and maybe perhaps kind of spearhead the goal scoring. Maybe you have to change things around a little bit before you continue to commit with things in terms of your regular style play. But I doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised if we still see the team committed to their process and committed to trying to just go ahead and get one in the back of the net. But I would love to see it because you're going Kansas City and I'm going Rain. I would love for us to come on back here and talk about how we were right or how we were wrong. But we'll see. Midweek action Wednesday the 25th, 10 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it.